In 2007, Congress passed an expanded Renewable Fuel Standard, or RFS, which mandates that large quantities of biofuel, made from corn and other biomass, be blended into the fuel supply each year. Lawmakers promised that this policy of turning food and plants into fuel would be a silver bullet for America's energy challenges, making us more energy secure and more environmentally friendly. Sounds too good to be true? Well, it is. 7 years later, the RFS has not only failed to achieve its stated objectives, it's also hurting every American at the grocery store and the gas station. Let's take a look at the quote-unquote success of the RFS so far. What does energy security look like under the RFS? Not much. Ethanol distorts energy markets, and the government's own Energy Information Administration projects that the U.S. will still rely on oil and natural gas products for more than half of its energy needs for decades to come. Ethanol could also increase fuel costs. Experts have said that RFS mandates are likely to increase ethanol prices by 18.8%. Raising the cost of gasoline, which is required to be blended with ethanol. In fact, fuel that is up to 85% ethanol is more expensive than pure gasoline, even with today's petroleum prices, and biodiesel costs more than $1.50 more per gallon to produce. Restricting Americans' access to affordable fuel is a strange approach to energy security, don't you think? Well, that's a shame, but at least we're lowering emissions, right? Wrong. In order to produce enough biofuel to power the more than 250 million registered vehicles in America, an unprecedented amount of land must be cultivated. Since 2005, we have more than doubled the amount of land for biofuels, currently using 8.5% of all U.S. farmland, a number that could double again in the next 10 years. So where are we getting this land from? The clearing of natural forests and grasslands to make room for corn. Researchers have found that this deforestation actually doubles greenhouse gas emissions over 30 years. So the RFS is not only failing to meet its intended goals, it's actually working against them. But the lunacy doesn't stop there. The RFS raises costs for every family in America. During the worst drought the United States has seen since 1956, the mandate diverts 40% of America's corn crop away from food and animal feed to ethanol production for fuel. Skyrocketing animal feed costs have put a strain on livestock farmers and pushed food prices higher and higher. Put simply, more ethanol means less food and higher prices. Since the RFS passed in 2005, the price of corn increased more than 200%. Cereal and bakery product prices have increased almost 77%. Meat, poultry, fish, and egg prices have increased 78%. Vegetable oil and fats like butter are up more than 444%. In short, breakfast just is not what it used to be. Neither is what you put in your gas tank. Beyond making gasoline more expensive, ethanol is also 33% less efficient than traditional gasoline. The lower fuel economy of ethanol gasoline blends means Americans will spend a lot more time and money at the pump. The Renewable Fuel Standard has failed to meet its goals over 5 years. Instead, it's costing Americans money, hurting the environment, and failing to limit our dependence on foreign energy sources. So ask yourself a question. Why is this still the law of the land? Call on lawmakers to reform the failed Renewable Fuel Standard and pledge your support for a smarter way forward, a smarter fuel future.